Welcome to the Bercich Breakdown, and that means we have Pete Bercich joining us, Vikings analyst on the Vikings radio network, set to open the season on Monday Night Football against the Chicago Bears. And Pete, I want to ask you right off the top, everybody's talking about JJ McCarthy and this big stage he is on, but is there a worse place to start your NFL career than at Soldier Field at night, Monday Night Football, after 5 nights of concert on a field that's always listed as one of the most treacherous in the league?
Yeah, it's unique in that the city basically maintains the field, so we all know how cities maintain things sometimes. I'm not saying all the time.
Right,
I'm just
right.
Saying.
There are good ones out
I'm
there.
not saying, but I'm saying no. But there is concern on that. The NFL, though, I think is really, it's not like it was 20 years ago, 15 years ago, where you really didn't know what you were going to get. Didn't
it's
Mike
a good test. Maybe you can refresh me. Didn't Mike Ditka back in the day grow the grass longer because he wanted to slow the Vikings down because they were so fast, but his team was slow? So if you make the grass longer, everybody's slower.
So to your point, Soldier Field was turf, AstroTurf for a very, very long time.
Okay.
However, I do believe it was the second time we were there with Adrian Peterson, because the first time Adrian was there in 2007, he put up about 240 some yards on the ground, had a kick return. He had an unbelievable day. I think it was the next year that we went out there and the grass was ankle deep. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's been. They've done that. They've done it in the past. It's like, to your point, as far as an NFL surface goes, it's inconsistent. However, I don't recall in the last, 4 or 5 years of being there of that standing out. So they could try. I mean, it's who knows but then again, I don't know if necessarily a long grass type of a pasture field will benefit them.
Right.
More than it would us. Who knows? We don't know. That's the kind of the beauty of this game.
All right, so back to JJ. How tough a place is this to make your first NFL start?
It's going to be tough. I don't know if when I say we, I mean like Paul Allen and myself have been to Soldier Field, where it's going to be, I think, as loud as it's going to be on Monday night. First of all, it's the opening game. Everybody's 0-0. The crowd will be in it. It's a new regime, a lot of money spent on new players. They're going to be excited. So it's the smallest stadium in the league, numbers wise. It's only 62,000. It's the third biggest TV market, but the smallest stadium, which they're going to try. I mean, they're trying to get fixed. So we don't really quite know how loud that stadium can get. Can it get Seattle loud? I don't know. We'll find that out. But I think this is going to be the loudest environment we've seen in Chicago in a long time. And that, in and of itself brings a lot of problems, brings some challenges. However, that's where why you draft a guy that came out of a big program like Michigan. He won a national title. He's used to big games. This is not new. This is not new to JJ. So hopefully it won't be too big for him. And if you listen to Coach O'Connell's press conference today, he kind of took the angle of just chop it up into little bits, right? And if you can't worry about the whole thing, because it'll be too daunting if you do. You can't look at the whole thing. It's the old what's important now. That's an old Lou Holtz acronym. Win. What's important now. Whatever.
Very good.
But and that's it. Getting your foot right, getting your footwork right, getting your cadence right. So to face that day or that night and that Monday night atmosphere, which is as close to a playoff game as you're going to get, although Sunday Night Football is pretty big now too. Just look at it as a series of little things that you have to do and do right and execute. And that's the advice that Coach O'Connell has given him. And if he does that, then he might be all right. He should be all right. I mean, I won't be surprised if there's some struggles and maybe some penalties and some things like that. You don't want to get behind the chains too often on a game like this, but it's going to have its challenges, no question about it.
All right, a little bit about the way the Vikings may approach this. And this, my theory is it's not just because McCarthy's starting, but it's kind of a philosophical change of the regime. Because you remember Kwesi going into this, he wanted to beef up both lines, wanted this team to be bigger. And he said it at the start of training camp that he wants a team that can win no matter what kind of fight it is. So I'm thinking that they're going to try and maintain ball possession, meaning run the football and take the pressure off McCarthy. Because if you're running the ball, then McCarthy, it's not all on him. Do you see that as being a strategy to start this game?
It could very well be, especially early on. How this game starts matters quite a bit. Number one, I'd say on the Vikings side, JJ McCarthy's first game, to your point, running the football and being able to do that and be efficient, maybe even be explosive doing so, adds an element that this team hasn't seen with Coach O'Connell here. We've thrown the football. That's what we do. We've done it very well, won a lot of football games, nothing wrong with that. It's just any good coach will have to tweak what he does to fit the talent that he has. And right now you have kind of an unknown talent in JJ McCarthy. Conversely, starting fast on defense is important because of the crowd, but you have to understand I think it was somewhere around 13 or 14 of the 17 opening drives the Bears had last year were 3 and out. They did not score a touchdown on an opening drive all season last year. So they're used to struggling out of the gate. And so defensively, if you don't, if you have to have a good series, if you give up a field goal, whatever, right, you can't let them just march down the field and score a touchdown. That will amp that crowd up. That's exactly what Ben Johnson wants. And that's why it's like that first series, both offensively and defensively, are going to be huge. And it's a game. I understand that you have 4 quarters to play, that whole thing. But with these circumstances, that opening drive, both for the Vikings offense and for the Bears offense, there's a lot more riding on it than usual because of the rookie quarterback, because of the woes of the offense from the Bears a year ago. So both teams are really amped up to come out and make a good first impression. That could be for the Vikings running the football, because I think the coaching staffs around the league will hear that and they'll say, well, I think I'll believe it when I see it. Right. It's one of those things where, I know he might want to run the ball more, but he can't help himself throwing the football. So we'll see. But that's why in the back of my mind, I keep thinking about Jordan Mason and how this could be, you want the grass to be long. All right, let it grow long. We got a guy that can handle that. We got a guy that runs for almost as many yards after contact as any running back in the league a year ago. So, bring it on. Let's go.
All right. The acquisition of Adam Thielen. Everybody is sky high here in Minnesota, and it's because it's someone they know. It's a commodity that's familiar to them. They've seen how many great games he's had in Vikings colors years ago. He's a different guy now. He's been away a while. What do you expect from him in this opening night? Because the Vikings are going to count a lot on him, I'm assuming, with Mr. Addison serving game 1 of 3 suspensions.
Yep. Well, you're going to get a good idea of what they think of the progress of Jalen Naylor, right? We're going to see how much they trust having him on the field, and do they really think that he could be a number 2? Thielen will fill in the pieces behind that. I also think Thielen will be a big opportunity in the red zone, right? He's always been a good route runner throughout his entire career, and good route runners, they they show up in the red zone. You look at Thielen's numbers, his touchdown receptions have really stayed up pretty high. His numbers and things like other numbers may have come down a little bit, being that he's 35, but the number of touchdown receptions has stayed up there. So that means he's still running good routes he's smart, right? He's quick and he's smart. He still has that. And that's where I see him probably making an impact the most is in the red zone. All
right. Now, this is something we're going to try to do for you, the viewers, this season. We're going to tape these every Wednesday night. They'll be on the Fox 9 YouTube channel, and we're going to pair them with this right back here, the eye in the sky. This is Pete's baby right here. And you want to really get into the weeds and really break the film down because that's what this guy does. And his biggest matchup coming out of this, Brian Flores versus Coach Johnson. And they have a history, and Pete dives into that in his latest video from the Eye in the Sky. That's his YouTube channel. And why does that jump out to you so much without giving away your thunder? Because you can click on that right after this. You're done with this one.
Yeah, it's both. I mean, you think of Ben Johnson, and you also think of Brian Flores, both as successful coaches. And then you start taking a look at the records and the numbers. And Flores is 3-1 versus the Bears, gives up on average 16 points a game. The one game that we lost, the defense only gave up 12. But then you look at how he's done against Ben Johnson, and he's 0-4. The defense, team 0-4, defense giving up over 30 points a game. So what is it, right? Is it the coach, or is it the players? Which one of those? And then so that's where my thought with this whole thing began. And then you dive into the games against Detroit and look at those really closely. What worked for them? That we'll probably see. It's the same way you would put up or try to design a game plan if you were a coach and you don't know anything about your opponent. You look in the past and find out what have they done well against us, because they're probably going to replicate those things. Ben Johnson's a play action pass kind of guy. Will he keep Caleb Williams more on the move than Goff? We'll see. I mean, that's where the video kind of shows and proves those points and things that stick in your head that just like the game 17 last year, when that game was 10-9 with 2.5 minutes left to go in the third quarter.
Right, that's true.
You just remember the blowout,
about that,
right?
Everybody looks at the final score. It doesn't realize how it was competitive.
That's the feeling, right? That's the feeling you took away from that game. But they missed a ton of opportunities, obviously. But some of those games have been closer than you think. I think Flores, he wants to get pressure on the quarterback, and he's going to do whatever it is necessary to get that pressure on the quarterback. But this isn't just, I guess my point is, this isn't just guessing. This isn't, there's a system, there's a path that you have to follow to come up with these things. And that's kind of what I'm trying to do, is take the viewer and walk them down that path and show them exactly what Ben Johnson does to help his running game, what Ben Johnson does because of what he does in the running game, how he can help himself in the passing game, formationally, what they do. It's just one of those, it's so you can kind of watch the game on a different level, right? Yeah. And it's fascinating. It's the part of the game that I love, and it's kept me around for so long. But be able to share that with the viewer is what I enjoy the most.
Yeah, it's very cool. So check that out, Eye in the Sky podcast. It's usually right by ours, so you should be able to cue each other up, and we'll try to get these out there at least by Wednesdays, so you guys got time to watch it going into the weekend matchup. All right, so you talk about, is it the coordinator or is it the pieces that coordinator is using? Caleb Williams, how much can Ben Johnson turn him into a consistent NFL quarterback? We've seen the flashes, we've seen the tremendous plays and the athleticism, but it's not consistent. Is Ben Johnson the guy that can make him a consistent quarterback, and can he do it by week one?
Well, when you say can Caleb Williams and then put do anything, you have to say yes. I mean, the guy, he should have been he deserves to be a number 1 overall pick with his athleticism and some of the things that he can do. He's so gifted physically. And if Caleb Williams wants to pick up a play action passing type game, turning his back on the defense, doing those things, having discipline with his feet, discipline with his eyes and the reads, he absolutely can do it. The question is Ben Johnson and Caleb, are they the right match? Is that the right pair? He's definitely, I guess he's at a point now where, he's been through one head coach already. Now you're bringing in a guy who's coached and orchestrated one of the best offenses in the league for many seasons, which matters. The point is to put the pressure on Caleb Williams. You know what I'm saying? He's always kind of had, in my opinion, a bit of a soft shoulder to cry on with the media and with everything else, pointing the finger other than at him. If Caleb Williams starts pointing that finger at himself and saying, all right, this is what I have to do and this is what I want to do, then he's going to be as good of a quarterback as we've seen in the NFL in a long time. Question is just, is that going to happen?
Right.
We'll wait and see. We'll find out.
Now, that's the question on every Bears fan, no doubt about it. Pete,
yeah.
Thank you for doing this. Check out his stuff. Eye in the Sky is his YouTube page, and you can look at the breakdowns and the matchup between Flores versus Johnson on Monday Night Football. And we'll do this again Sunday night on Fox 9. He'll be in Chicago. I'll be here. We'll get you set for the Vikings and the Bears on Sports Now, Sunday night, 10:35 here on Fox 9. Pete, thank you so much. We love tapping into your knowledge, and we look forward to this season finally getting going so we actually have something to really sink our teeth into.
Here we go, baby. Here we go. And it's just 1 of 17. Don't forget that, but here we go.
Oh, but this is the end all. No matter what happens after this game, the Vikings are either going to the Super Bowl or we're going for the first pick.
Yep.
There's no middle ground.
No in between. No in between. But that's the way things are nowadays.
Correct.
I mean, it's the ticket that you bought.
Exactly. Pete Bercich, thank you very much. We will see you soon.
Thank you, Jim. We'll see you.